I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. Now, in today's video topic, I titled the video, Don't Dip Out on Those That Show Love for You. And the reason that I wanted to talk about this topic is because lately in our society, there's a lot of people that are pushing each other away just for the sake of having their ego stroked or just to get that extra little dopamine hit instead of actually creating relationships that matter or creating long, everlasting relationships in which you find fulfillment in. And life is about relationships, right? Life is about how you operate in your relationships, and that will dictate and show and demonstrate how you operate in life as a whole. If you are someone that when someone starts to show you love, you push them away, well, there's a few things that could be going on. It depends on the kind of person that's showing you love, and it depends on how they're showing you love, and it also depends on whether or not you're going to be able to receive love. What I've learned is that a lot of the women nowadays do not know actually how to receive love. And men misunderstand that in their relationships, what their most important faculty is to be able to give. And if you cannot give, if you don't know how to give in a relationship as a man, when you realize that relationships are more about giving than they are taking, that's when you start to really step forward into a maturation process in your mind, body, and soul as a man. And the women are meant to be the receivers and then to transform that love into nurturing or into any kind of building blocks that will help the people in their life build themselves or their relationships altogether. And so what I've found and what I've seen is that a lot of men and women nowadays are giving themselves the extreme benefit of the doubt that they are all these super cool and amazing things that in reality they don't really have much to offer. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with being average. If you're an average person, you're average. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being average. And I'm not sure when we got to the point in which being average was almost like a unnecessary and disgusting thing to be. I don't know when that started to happen, because when I was in high school, which was only a decade ago, when I was in high school, it was almost like, I mean, just throughout my teen years altogether, and I've been contemplating on whether or not this was actually just part of me being a teenager or if there was actually some kind of difference, but it just seemed like the sun shined differently back in those days. And even though my life was a bit more challenging and there was a lot more regulations and restrictions just because of how I was living and who I was living with, it was definitely in many ways more life, like I would say lively in one sense, but also in another sense it was also because that was still the time when we were not all so focused on our technology. And technology is fantastic, and I understand that this is a topic that has been practically beaten to death on social media altogether anyway, but social media has just destroyed a lot of people's brains. It's just destroyed a lot of people's concepts of what a relationship actually is. And now we're so focused on getting the dopamine hit and just getting that little rush of energy, because many people don't know how to create inner resilience or inner energy on their own, that they have to rely on these outside sources to do that. A lot of these people, it's so sad to watch because our ancestors went through hell to get us to where we are today, to where, and I'm so grateful for good food, clean water, running water, toilets, showers, ovens. I don't have to build a fire every time I want to make something. You know, laundry, even just doing laundry in like a washing machine and a dryer. Doing laundry is so much easier. All of these basic things have made life so much better. And yet it's like people in many ways the sun isn't shining quite as bright because the people are not quite as bright. And there's been many a time in my dreams that I've seen prophetic visions of what's to come with the smartphone technology. And I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to disclose all of the information that I've seen in my dreams about this because it's been very harrowing of an experience. But at the same time, we must realize that social media is a tool. And so content like this that I'm creating, it's supposed to be more informative. It's supposed to be more insightful. It's supposed to provide a point of origin in which people can grow themselves. And that's my hope with videos like this, is to give you the opportunity to think for yourself and to show you how to think for yourself and maybe give you certain insights to the world that you might already know, you just didn't know how to articulate it. And so one thing that I've also learned throughout all of these, specifically the last 10 years, is that real beauty is among the most powerful thing in the universe. But it's hard to discern real beauty. And so technology is actually a very beautiful thing if we but have the courage to see the beauty in it instead of seeing ourselves as a means to an end through it. Because that's what is happening a lot of the times with these social media platforms and such. It's people are wanting to see a better version of themselves inside a digital civilization. They want to create their own avatar in this digital civilization that isn't quite real, but is seemingly better than the actual reality that they're living. And so one thing that I try to do on this channel is maintain a raw sense of reality and being grounded in wisdom while doing so on this channel. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm striving for. And I'm the kind of person that is completely transparent. I'm not going to tell you everything that is going to be personal about me, of course, but I am to the point now where I completely understand that to completely own everything that you are and everything that you've been through, and to be very careful and delicate with how you portray your vision and your dreams, whether it's your actual dreams or whether it's your dreams for the future. Be very careful in articulating those things to certain people, because there are going to be forces that are going to try to stop you. And this is where you have to have the discernment of real beauty. And real beauty is the culmination of truth and goodness. But at the same time, there's a melody based, how would you say it? It's like it's like a song, right? You know, in a song, a good song, what is a good song like? Well, it's something that we can feel the rhythm of, but it's not quite predictable. So it's got a certain rhythm, but it's not quite a predictable rhythm. You're not quite sure where you're going to go in the melody, but you're feeling your way through it. And even when I'm creating music, like if I've got my guitar there and I'm playing music, sometimes I'll just start playing and it's almost like I have to find my way through the darkness to actually know and feel what I'm actually feeling through the guitar. For me, the guitar is a way that I channel certain kinds of feelings that are very, very deep. And it's almost like the guitar allows me to express certain feelings that I can't necessarily express simply through words. There's something deeper through music that I can express. And this is one way that beauty can be discerned is through a melody like atmosphere and environment within the vibration of an individual or a thing. And so one of the other ways that people are so caught up with looking a certain way or having certain kinds of clout or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I'm interested in influence. I'm very interested in influence. But what I'm not interested in is clout for clout's sake. I'm not interested in fame. What I'm interested in is making an impact and imposing my will on an environment and on my environment in a way that benefits the people and their well-being to the best of my ability. Because I understand that now that I'm a man, I have to be okay with being responsible for other people. And that's something that is actually a manly thing is and a masculine thing is to protect and provide for your quote unquote tribe. But you have to know who's actually in your tribe and who's not. And so you're going to have to understand that in this day and age, many people are fake. And there's nothing wrong with investing into certain people. There's nothing wrong with investing your time and energy into people. But if they're not reciprocating that energy to some degree, like for those that are watching this video to this point right now, if you haven't liked or commented on the video, it's kind of strange. I'll just say it. It's kind of strange. And so you're just kind of watching just to watch, which is just kind of weird, man. It's just kind of weird. You know, you can do what you want, but it's kind of weird. And so if you can reciprocate that energy, God and the universe will reward you. And I know that because I've seen it. And remember, what we imagine, we become. So if you can imagine it, and if you can really imagine it, and then you make the steps to do so, I mean, I imagine being at this point in my life a long time ago, but I didn't actually believe I could do it until I started. And now, in retrospect, I know that I could have been further than where I am today if I just believed in myself before I started. If I had the image of where I wanted to be, and I knew and I believed in myself that I would be in that point, in that place, rather than starting and going through the motions and then start to believe that I could actually do this, like, wow, maybe I could actually do this. No. You got to believe that before you start. Okay? And I'm going to start to wrap up this video, but if my voice is a little nasally, I can't quite tell, but I've had allergies pretty much like all the last couple days. And then I had like a sore throat before that for the previous like 5 days. So if the energy's been kind of strange or off at all in the last like week of videos, that's why. And there's just been so many changes and so many things to go through, but I'm starting to feel like I'm on the other side. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for this like section of trials right now spiritually. So that, thank God for that, because I understand that in order to get inner strength and to increase your inner strength, you have to go through certain struggles and certain problems. But man, oh man, this last week has been great, but crazy busy. So I'm just taking it one day at a time, and trusting in the process that if I can just prepare and execute day by day for the next day and for today, I'm solid. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful, and until next time, peace be with you.